Seniors don't need Christmas dinner, the supervisor sneered, smirking as she canceled the event we'd all been waiting for all year. That's when I realized one phone call was all it would take to bring her fancy little show crashing down. My name is Margaret, and at 76, I've spent the last 3 years in this place they call Evergreen Manor, a nursing home that's supposed to be a haven for folks like me. It's not bad as far as these things go. Clean rooms, scheduled meals, and nurses who check on you every few hours. But it's lonely. My daughter, Emily, lives 2 states away with her husband and kids. She's got a demanding job in marketing, always rushing from one meeting to the next. She visits when she can, a quick weekend here, a video call there. But it's not enough to fill the quiet days. I understand. Life pulls people in different directions. Me? I've always been the helper type, the quiet one who knits scarves for the new residents or listens when someone needs to talk about their grandkids. I don't like drama, never have. But Christmas, that's different. For me, it's the one time of year when I feel like I still matter, like the world hasn't forgotten us, old folks tucked away here. With age, Christmas isn't about the gifts anymore. It's about feeling remembered, about that warm glow of being part of something bigger. This year, though, that glow was snuffed out before it even started. It began with a memo slipped under our doors one chilly November morning. Due to budget constraints, it read, the annual Christmas dinner has been canceled. We apologize for any inconvenience. Inconvenience. That word didn't capture it. For us residents, that dinner was everything, the highlight of the year. Turkey with all the trimmings, mashed potatoes creamy as clouds, pies baked fresh, and carols sung off-key but with heart. Last year, we'd even had a little tree in the dining hall, twinkling lights reflecting in everyone's eyes. It was a reminder that we weren't just bodies to be fed and medicated. We were people with memories, with stories. I wheeled myself down to the common room where a buzz of disappointment hung in the air like fog. Old Mr. Wilkins, 82 and hard of hearing, squinted at his copy of the memo. Canceled? But why? He muttered. That's when Supervisor Karen strode in. Yes, her name really is Karen, fitting in the worst way. She's in her 40s, always impeccably dressed in starched uniforms, with a clipboard perpetually under her arm. She runs this place like a tight ship, but there's a coldness to her, a way she looks at us like we're line items on a budget sheet. Listen up, she announced, her voice sharp. Budget is tight this year. Seniors don't need big dinners. A simple meal will suffice. Soup and sandwiches, like any other day. Focus on resting, not feasting. Resting? As if we did anything else. Her words landed like a slap. I raised my hand tentatively. But Miss Karen, the Christmas dinner, it's tradition. It means so much to us. She fixed me with that smirk, the one that said she was humoring a child. Margaret, dear, you old people should prioritize health over indulgence. Eating too much isn't good for your conditions anyway. The room fell silent, but inside I seethed. How dare she dismiss us like that? It got worse. A few days later, as I was passing the staff lounge on my way to physical therapy, my hips have been acting up, arthritis turning every step into a negotiation. I caught a whiff of something heavenly, roasting turkey, cinnamon, the bubbly pop of champagne corks. Peeking through the slightly ajar door, I saw it. Tables laden with feast preparations, glazed hams, stuffing piled high, bottles of sparkling wine chilling in ice buckets, balloons, streamers, even a playlist of upbeat holiday tunes playing softly. It was a party, a fancy one for the staff only. Secret Santa exchange tonight, one nurse whispered excitedly to another. Karen pulled strings to make it happen. My heart sank. So the budget was tight for us, but not for them? I slipped away unnoticed, but the image burned in my mind. That evening, during bingo, a sad substitute for any real excitement, Mrs. Lydia from room 204 broke down. She's 79, widowed for a decade, her only son overseas in the military. Christmas Eve is the one night I don't feel invisible. She sobbed quietly, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. Without the dinner, what's left? Staring at these walls. I patted her hand, whispering comforts, but inside, rage built. Karen walked by then, overhearing. Oh, Lydia, dry those tears. You old folks dramatize everything. Focus on resting, not eating. Resting again, that word like a weapon. But she wasn't done. Later, in the hallway, I overheard her on the phone. These residents complain about the canceled dinner, but their families don't visit anyway. Why waste food on them? Waste. We were waste to her? The accumulation of these slights, the memo, the secret party, the tears, the insults. It was like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering fury. How many Christmases did we have left? For some, this could be the last, and she was robbing us of it for what? To fund her staff's merrymaking? No, this wasn't just unfair. It was cruel, a betrayal of the trust we'd placed in this home. The turning point came unexpectedly in the storage room where I sometimes fetch extra blankets. My room gets drafty at night. Rifling through shelves for a quilt, my hand brushed a folder labeled budget reports. Curiosity got the better of me. I flipped it open. There it was. Line items for the Christmas dinner. Thousands allocated for food, decorations, even a live pianist. But scrawled in Karen's handwriting, reallocated to staff appreciation event. Report as 0 spent on resident activities. Fraud, pure and simple. The money was there. She'd just stolen it for her own purposes. I closed the folder, my hands shaking. So that's where the Christmas spirit went, I murmured to the empty room. In that moment, something shifted. I wasn't just Margaret the quiet helper anymore. I was Margaret the fighter. And I knew exactly who to call, the one person with more power than Karen could imagine. Revenge? Call it justice, wrapped in a bow. But I had to plan it carefully, no room for errors. First, the call. My grandson, Alex, is a reporter for the local TV station, Channel 7 News. He's 28, ambitious, with a nose for stories that tug at heartstrings. I don't bother him often. I know he's busy chasing leads. But this was worth it. I waited until lights out, when the halls were quiet, then dialed from my room phone. "Grandma? Everything okay?" His voice was concerned. Calls at 9 p.m. aren't my style. "Alex, honey, I need your help. The supervisor here canceled our Christmas dinner, saying no budget. But I found proof. She's diverting funds to a staff party. It's wrong, and it's hurting people." He paused then. "Grandma, if that's true, it's embezzlement, illegal. I'll be there tomorrow with a crew. Get me evidence, photos, documents. We'll expose it." "Promise you'll be discreet until the right moment?" I asked. "Absolutely. This could be big. Elder abuse angle." Next, gathering proof. I enlisted a couple of allies quietly. Mr. Wilkins, with his old smartphone, snapped pics of the staff lounge setup, the lavish spread, champagne glasses, clinking in toasts, Karen laughing at the center. I contrasted it with shots of our barren dining hall, no decorations, just the usual fluorescent gloom. And the budget file? I photographed every page, my hands steady despite the adrenaline. Word spread among the residents in whispers. "Margaret's up to something," they said, eyes hopeful. I gathered a few more stories. Lydia's tears, Mr. Jenkins missing his family's virtual visit because the Wi-Fi glitched, another Karen cutback, even a list of past grievances. By Christmas Eve morning, I had a dossier, photos, statements, the smoking gun budget sheets. That evening, as the staff's event kicked off at 7 p.m., laughter echoing from their lounge, I sat in the common room with the others, pretending to watch a rerun of It's a Wonderful Life. But inside, I was counting down. "Tonight," I told Lydia softly, squeezing her hand, "you will have dinner. We all will." The consequences unfolded like a holiday blockbuster. At 7:15, the doors swung open. In strode Alex, microphone in hand, flanked by a camera crew and a producer. The staff lounge went silent as they burst in. "Channel 7 News," Alex announced. "We're here investigating reports of fund misappropriation and resident neglect at Evergreen Manor. Karen's face drained of color, her champagne flute slipping from her fingers. What? Turn those cameras off. This is private property. But Alex pressed on, calm and professional. Ma'am, we've received evidence of budgeted funds for a resident Christmas dinner being diverted to this staff event. Care to comment? The cameras rolled, capturing it all. The opulent spread versus the residents' empty tables. Interviews with us, tearfully sharing our stories. They said we don't need Christmas, Lydia said on camera, her voice trembling but strong. But we do. We need to feel human. Karen stammered denials, but the budget docs were irrefutable. Alex had them projected on a screen for the crew. The station aired a live segment that night. Holiday heartbreak, nursing home scandal exposed. Viewers called in outraged. Social media blew up. By 9 p.m., the fallout was swift. The home's corporate office, alerted by the broadcast, suspended Karen on the spot. Police arrived for an initial inquiry. Embezzlement charges pending. The on-site manager, sweating profusely, apologized profusely in an emergency all-residents meeting. This is unacceptable. We're rectifying it immediately. And rectify they did. Caterers were called in last minute. Turkey, pies, the works. Tables were set in the dining hall. Lights strung up hastily but beautifully. We residents gathered, carols playing, laughter replacing tears. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Just as we sat down to eat, Lydia grasped my hand across the table. Margaret, you didn't just save Christmas for yourself. You saved it for all of us. We were voiceless until you spoke up. I smiled, feeling the warmth of the room envelop me. Seniors don't need Christmas dinner. No. Seniors need to feel loved, respected, seen. And tonight, we are. But let me take you deeper into how this all built up, because the little details are what made it sting and what made the victory so sweet. That memo, it wasn't just words on paper, it was a gut punch. I'd been looking forward to the dinner since Halloween, planning what to wear. A red sweater Emily sent last year. To have it yanked away felt like losing a piece of myself. Peeking into that staff lounge, the contrast was stark. Their table groaned under the weight of gourmet delights, honey-glazed carrots, cranberry sauce glistening like jewels. Chocolate fondue for dessert. Meanwhile, our simple meal that night? Cold sandwiches and watery soup. No wonder Lydia cried. Her son had promised to video call during the dinner. Now, what was there to share? Karen's barbs cut deep. Your families don't visit anyway. For many, that was true. Kids scattered, lives busy, but it didn't make us less deserving. Mr. Wilkins, for instance, hadn't seen his daughter in months. The dinner was his chance to feel connected through shared stories. Finding that budget folder, was providence. Pages of allocations, $5,000 for resident events, including Christmas. Karen's notes reallocating it to staff morale booster. It wasn't just theft, it was deliberate cruelty, prioritizing parties over people. Calling Alex felt risky. What if it backfired? But his voice on the line was reassuring. Grandma, I've got your back. This is the kind of story that changes things. He arrived the next day, incognito, posing as a visitor, while I slipped him the evidence in a manila envelope. The residents' involvement added layers. Mrs. Thompson, 81, and tech-savvy, helped email photos to Alex anonymously. We became a covert team, bonded by injustice. The exposure moment? Electric. Karen's composure cracked, her demands to shut off cameras ignored, as Alex quoted regulations. The live broadcast reached thousands. Donors called, offering food. Volunteers showed up with gifts. Post-scandal, changes rippled out. New oversight policies, resident feedback sessions, even a hotline for complaints. Karen, facing charges, her career in ruins. But for us, it was rebirth. That impromptu dinner tasted like triumph, each bite a reminder that one voice, one call can ignite change. And Lydia's words, they echoed the truth. We saved Christmas together. Age doesn't erase our worth. It amplifies it. So if you're ever told you don't matter, remember, a single spark can light up the darkest night. Merry Christmas, in spirit and in fight.